Hi everyone, good morning. So in today's class, I'll be talking more about annotations, TestNG annotations. So first, in the first class, we saw the annotations are before method, the test annotation and the after method. And as we know, came to know that before method and after method runs before and after each test method, right? For example, if I will have another test method over here, and I can write here public void. Just for a testing purpose, I'm doing it, test2 suppose, and I'm just trying to print something, test2. Okay, so what will happen? My driver will be called twice or getting initialized twice, but it will go to google.com in the first test, whereas in the second test, it will just print it and close the browser. So let's see, we will be seeing two drivers will be opening together. In one test, it will go to google.com, and the other test will just open the browser and close it. Okay. And to know that, let's just print this statement so that we can see something in the console before method. And for this one, I'll be just printing test1. Okay. And similarly for the last one, I'll just be printing after method, so that it will be clear to know what order it is running. So run as TestNG test. You see the first driver got open and it went to Google, and second driver got opened, but it will not go to any website, it will just close it, right? So let's go to console and check how it looked like. So if you see, before method ran first, then test1, then if I come down, after method. Similarly for test2, again before method ran, test2 and after method, right? So this is how before method and after method works. And there are other annotation what I said about before class and after class. So before class and after class will run before and after each test class. So this particular TestNG class one is the entire class file, right? So if I write here before class and create a method, public void. So in this class, in this method, you can actually provide initialize any properties values, or you can do whatever you want, like yeah, mainly initializing the properties values and creating some other objects, Excel object and all, and closing it in the after class. And we also have to import it from TestNG annotation. And it's not like you have to use it, it's not mandatory to use it. Yeah, as per the requirement you have to use it. Okay, so I have kept it here in before class. So similarly here I will be putting after class, and the method void, and I can just say like that. The method name can be anything, and I'll just print here as after class. Okay, so let's see how this works. And here let's not go to the driver because it's we can see the order directly, right? So let's just remove all the driver codes from here. Okay, and then this one. Now let's run this and see the order. See? So first it will run before class, then before method, then the first test annotation, then after method, then before method, test2 annotation, and the after method, finally the after class. So this class, before class and after class is running for the entire class file. Okay, it is not for a particular test method. Instead, it is for the entire class file before and after. So similarly, there is one more annotation called before test. Okay, public void before test. And how this works is, like, we will not be able to find the difference in case of a single class, we have to create multiple class in order to see the difference. So first let me import this, and I'll be creating after test also, before test and after test. Let me give the method name as after, and here it is after. Okay, so now if I run this code, it will start from before test, before class, before method, like that. So let's run this and see. Okay, so first is before test, then before class, then before method, after method, and test one, before method, test two, and after method, then after class, then after test, right? So you'll get confused to know the difference between before test and before class, right? So for that, we have to create another class file. So I'm just creating a simple TestNG class file without any annotations. Okay, so new test, suppose I'll give new test 2, click on finish, and here I will just print it as test 2. Okay, so now I want to run both the tests together. So in order to do that, I cannot do it from here. I have to create my TestNGxml file. To create the TestNGxml file, select both the class files like this, right click on it, click on TestNG, click on convert to TestNG. You see one TestNG XML file is getting created and location is directly under the project. So just click on finish and go to TestNG XML file here. You see here it will be the structure of this XML file, which looks something like this, where the class name is nothing but the package name here dot the class name. Similarly, the second class name is also class name, sorry, package name followed dot class name, and it is all case sensitive. Okay, whereas the suite name can be anything and the test name here can be anything. Okay, and yeah, to run this I have to write, like it will run both the test cases in serial manner. So first this will run and next this one will run. So let's run this. So in our new test we had only test 2, right? We had only test 2, we didn't had before test or before class or anything like that, right? But if you see, the before test is coming in the top, even though we do not have it in test 2, it is still coming in the top for test 2, right? That's because in TestNGxml, when we are putting all the class files under a particular test, and it doesn't matter wherever your before test and after test annotation code is present in whichever class file, it will always go to the top of all the class file, or before running any of the class file from this test annotation, from this test tag, it will run that code. Suppose for example, if I have another test, and see that over here. Okay. And let me just remove this, and yeah, let me have, we remove this one. So in the first case, what we saw, before test is coming in the top, then our test 2 is getting executed, then before class, before method, test 1, after method, before method, test 2, after method, after class, and finally after test was getting printed, right? But in this case, as we are putting all the class files in two different tests, so each class again will call before test and after test. Let's see how they are doing it. Not have the, yeah, so the name of the test cannot be same, I have to change it over here, and right click and run as TestNG suite. You see, so first test 2 is getting printed, then before test, okay, 1 second. Oh, okay, got it. So now what happened in this test annotation, in this test tag, we do not have any test. We have the class file which do not have any test method, right? Before test or after test method. That is when it is printing only the test. So in this class, we do not have any test annotation before test or after test or any before method, after method. So it is printing only that one. Whereas in case of this one, all these things are present. So it is showing for, or it is showing all the annotations here, right? So the difference you can observe only when you have both the class in the same, under the same test. If I just have it over here, then only you can observe the difference, okay? So when I ran this, you saw the test, before test and after test was getting executed for the entire or both the class files, you can say. So now we have something called before suite and after suite that also will get executed for the entire suite tag. So for example, if you have more than one test tag under a suite, then it will get executed for all the suite tag. So in this case, it will work. So let me just remove this one, okay, and let me remove this one from here. And now I will go to my TestNG class, and I will, here only I'll put my before suite and after suite. I know it will be a little confusing, but you just try to do it practically so that you can understand it in a better way. Yeah. So before suite, I have kept it over here. I'm not putting anything in the other test. Everything I'm putting it at here. Okay. So that is the beauty of JUnit, sorry, TestNG, where it reads from the file or wherever it is located, it checks that annotation value and accordingly it will execute it. It shouldn't, it's not mandatory that it has to be in the same class file. It can be in the different class file. Okay. So now just check TestNGxml file. Yeah. So we are having this in two different class files, right? And before suite and after suite should run for both the class files. Okay. Because it's the suite tag is in the top, and inside that we have the test to test, and inside the test we have the class files. So let's run this now. Yeah, sorry, again the name is same. Yeah. Okay, you see here before suite is coming in the top, then test2 is coming, then before test, before class for the entire class of TestNG class 1, and finally the after suite is coming, right? Even though we didn't write any of the annotation over here, the before suite and after suite is getting executed first, right? So this is all about the different type of annotations which are present in TestNG.